I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. I'm a survivor. That's right, YouTube. That's right, YouTube. I'm a survivor. I'm not gonna give up. I'm just not gonna stop. I'm gonna work harder. So let's go right in to my week of school with Code Crew this week. Now, I'm going to talk about some different things this week, about some learning strategies. I'm going to talk about some concepts. I'm going to talk about some, some things that happen that's getting better, that need improvement. So I'm going to jump right in. Hope your week has went well. Remember, I want you to do something that you have never done, something that you thought you could not accomplish. I want you to dive right into it. So, because I'm diving right into it myself. So, I am learning. I'm learning something new. Now, some of the learning strategies that I employed this week. What I've been doing this week was, I told you last week that our teacher assistant, Autumn, is so gracious. She goes out and all of our classwork, she goes out and actually codes it. So whatever we go over in class, we take a test behind it. But what she does is she goes and codes it and put it on YouTube. So at one point, I really couldn't do that. I couldn't do the coding myself because I have all these syntax errors. It's errors I was telling you about. If you have one error, the program won't run. So since she puts it out there, I'm actually writing it down myself verbatim, learning the concept, and then I'm turning around and coding. And that way, if I have any syntax errors, I can look at her code, and it kind of lets me know what I'm doing wrong. So that was wonderful for my study. I think I'm learning a little bit more by doing that. Also, the next thing I want to talk about some concepts. The concepts of coding is difficult in the fact that there's so many processes and procedures that you have to adhere to in order to make the code run. So I'm having a bit of difficulty just learning everything that you have to do to make everything run. On the flip side of that, we went from JavaScript to Python, and there's just a couple of things that are different, like the syntax. I told you about how instead of using the little curly brackets, we use indentation. About when we actually, like one thing that we've been doing is class constructors. And when we're going from JavaScript to Python, only thing that's different is like really one word. You have your constructor, instead of putting this dot, we're putting self dot. So kind of a transition that's not so bad because the same concept has been initiated. Okay, so next thing is my weekly highs and lows. Well, one thing that's been really low for me is just going to class every day and you feel so out of sorts because it's something that I'm not mastering. I'm used to mastering everything that I do. I don't like to half do things, so when I go in there, it's kind of such a feeling like, oh Lord, I'm in here. I'm doing everything I can to master this. I know I will master, but I hadn't got there yet. Well, one of the highs of that is we had an assessment on Friday. And instead of just sitting there blank, guess what? I actually knew what the test and assessment was about. I actually went in the code. Now, I didn't get through all the questions. But at least I wasn't sitting there like a deer, in headlights. I wasn't like, oh, what is this? I actually knew what was going on. And the questions that I get a chance to do, you could tell by my code that I actually knew the concept. So that's a great high for me this week. It may not be a big feat for anybody else, but for me, it's wonderful. Just knowing what I'm doing and feeling the concepts and being able to know what the JavaScript or what the Python is talking about, or referencing from JavaScript to Python, just wonderful. Also, next thing about how did the class align with the project or assessment on Friday? Our teachers are actually doing a fabulous job of trying to prepare us for our projects and assessments on Friday. I have to give it shout out to Ken and Kevin and our teacher assistant Autumn. They are doing an awesome job, and I really appreciate that because I needed that help. One thing that I decided to do on my own was to make sure that I don't say I can't, that it's too hard, because I understand that when you tell yourself that, you actually internalize that. So I have stopped saying that, and I think that's helped me to start being able to open up a little bit more, kind of getting a little bit more understanding, because I'm not saying I can't and oh, this is hard. No. What I realize is if someone else can get it, I can get it too. Even if it's at a slower rate, I can still get it. So also time that I put in. When I leave class, now what I'm doing is I'm actually going to the library to my, near my house. Because when I come home, there's so many things as a wife and mother that you have to do. So cooking dinner and making sure the kids are okay, making sure the house is okay. So I tend to not be able to come home and dive into homework. So I told my husband, I said, you know what? I try to get the dinner done. Throughout the week I do crock pot meals, so when they come home, they'll have food. And I'm going to the library by the house, and I'm staying from about 6 o'clock to about 8 o'clock. Then I come home, and then I parlay that over into what I've done at the library. I parlay that to the house, because most times when I come home, most things are done, because my husband's here, he's taking care of things. Now, I don't want that to be a constant thing, because I don't want to put all the work on him as well. So I'm going to find a way to balance that. And the next thing I want to talk about is our director, Aaron, asked us to look into something about what we want to build. So I think I would like to look into, and I have not started this project yet, so I'm really trying to get more into my code and getting that down packed. But I want to create maybe an app that talks about sending you an affirmation every day, some type of positive reinforcement, because we need that. We have enough negative stuff going on in life that we need everything positive, some reinforcement daily to let you know, hey, I can make this, I can do this. That's why I listen to Survivor, because I know I'm a survivor. Also, I'm heavy on the Bible, reading the Bible, going to church, just getting some inspiration from the Lord. Just always, trying to indoctrinate myself with God's word all the time. And just some affirmations, some scriptures or something, maybe an app that I want to copy that's already out there, or something that I build. We call it the Demetria app, but it's Demetria's affirmations. That's what I'm going to look into to maybe build when I get myself up to par as far as how I'm going to get this code and how I'm going to get this app to run. Last thing I want to talk about is creativity. Well, I'm not going to say creativity, but one thing that I did that I kind of stepped outside the box was I actually hired a tutor. So I'm going to be working with a tutor probably about an hour a week for the next couple of weeks, just to see if that can help expedite my study, my habits, my coding, my techniques. And the one thing that my tutor, and we only met, this is the first time we met, it was this week. And one thing that he taught me was I was having problems with calling my functions. When you actually put in code, if you don't call the function, if you don't call it, it's not going to run. So he went in and kind of showed me that. Okay. I had been having a little issue with that, and he really helped me with that. So I'm very happy. I'm excited because I'm finally learning, and I just want this journey to continue on a great path. So YouTube, thank you so much for bearing with me. And when I say I'm doing this, not just for me, but for you, I'm saying this because anything that you want to do that you think you cannot do and that you're just scared of, and the only failure is not doing it. So that's when I say, at the end, when I say I'm not doing just for me, but I'm doing it for you, that's what I mean. So dive right in. You can do it. Thank you, YouTube. Have a great day.